Hello, I'm Maeve. Today's Tuesday. Welcome to your Pocket News, where we're talking about how the EU can help the situation in Burma, demographics in Europe, and communism in China. So let's go. It was recently named the most corrupt country in the world. It has saturated us lately with the endless stories of the deaths, injuries, and arrests of innocent monks and civilians for protesting against the military government. We could only be referring to Burma, or officially known as Myanmar. Well, the European Parliament has added its voice to the international protest, and without even an argument, 563 to 3 MEPs came to an agreement. They condemned the anti-democratic and repressive regime in Burma and applauded the courageous actions of the Burmese monks and peaceful demonstrators. They called for the release of arrested demonstrators and political prisoners like San Suu Kyi, who won a Nobel Peace Prize in 1990. They published 2 lists of demands, one for the Burmese government, the other for the international community, especially China. They condemned the current illegitimate constitutional process and called for a fully representative national convention. They asked China and Russia to support a UN Security Council statement condemning the regime's use of brutal force. They asked the EU Council to work with the US to prepare extra measures against the Burmese regime and vowed that the EU would lead in pushing for targeted economic sanctions. Finally, MEPs asked the Commission to provide funding via the European Instrument for Democracy and Human Rights to support the work of NGOs. So they asked for a lot. We'll soon see how things go. The EP already had a travel ban on Burma leaders, an arms embargo and a ban of military cooperation, but that's not sufficient. A while back we spoke about Russia's demographic crisis. We forgot to mention Europe's. And the only way to get out of this sticky situation that we have is to attract around 20 million extra workers from abroad in the next 40 plus years. So is immigration the answer? Some MEPs think it is and still want to introduce the idea of a European blue card system. It's the only way to compete with the US, reckons Vice President of the Commission Franco Frattini. A blue card would be a special residence permit for skilled third country workers and would guarantee them equal treatment, letting them live and work in an EU member state for at least 2 years. You might have caught some images this weekend of the elections in the Ukraine and the nice hairdo of a smiling Yulia Tymoshenko. The Orange leader had a lot to be smiling for, as it's pretty likely she will become Ukraine's next Prime Minister, as her party won the largest share of the votes so far. Ms. Tymoshenko is likely to become the new Prime Minister at the head of an Orange coalition with the pro-Western President, Viktor Yushchenko. The European Commission is pretty happy too with the high turnout of voters, as it does show the country's commitment to reform. MEPs who were sent as observers last weekend to Kiev have felt that most political parties were eager to see their country integrate in the EU and asked leaders to use the results as a basis for a more stable and political environment. We spoke the other day about Gordon Brown's lack of enthusiasm for a referendum on the new European Treaty. What it looks like, he will just have to go ahead with it, as 2 in every 3 English citizens want one. According to the poll carried out by the Daily Telegraph, 64% of the voters said yes to a referendum. This outcome has spun off a reaction in Denmark, and the spokesperson for the current governing Conservative Party has spoken in favour of a referendum on the EU's reformed treaty, assuring that of course they would hold a public poll. For months, experts from all the member states have been drafting up a constitution that they will present on the 18th of October in Brussels. And finally, seeing a woman in her bra on the TV is just too much for the Chinese Communist government. It has just banned TV and radio adverts for push-up bras, figure-enhancing underwear and sex toys. It's social pollution, they insist, that misleads customers, harms people's health and corrupts social behaviour. TV shows that deal with cosmetic surgery, sex changes or talent searches are also completely banned on Chinese TV. Well, that's all for today. Tomorrow I'm trekking off to north central Sweden for a meeting organised by the Assembly of the European Regions on Youth and Media. Hopefully I'll be able to update you from there. Have a nice Tuesday. Bye.